Hey, it's Slanesh Devotee here. This is my round 4, I think it is, of the Winter 2017 Black Crusade. I'm just taking a look at what planets we have here, and basically, this is Packmaster Kith. I haven't played Packmaster Kith. I've got a 7-cost unit that I can get out with the STC, and I've got an Ominous Wind, so I'm feeling like that's a good, solid beginning. The planet array, basically, by planet 5, every colour has had 2 colours. Oh no, 3 colours by planet 5? Yeah, 3 by planet 5. So I'm thinking I've got a big solid unit, and I can use it on the tricolour planet 2. What is it? It's Yvonne, and I'm thinking that'll be really useful. I'm also hoping that if I can get some resources by committing somewhere else with my Warlord, I could use my demonic incursion to make sure I've actually got a unit there, because at the moment I've only got 1 unit, obviously. But I haven't played Packmaster Kith. I don't think I've got a single Packmaster Kith as a video, and you know, she was the big news for a long time, but I haven't actually come across her most of the time. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens. I'm a little bit trepidatious. I've heard, you know, scary things about the Packmaster. So let's see how it all rolls out. So yeah, I'm thinking for myself, I've got this STC. It's a good start. I need one of those. I've got the Keeper of Secrets, which is perfectly reasonable. And then I've got an Ominous Wind, which isn't quite as good as a Helldrake, but it's pretty decent. I've got a Gut and Pillage, so as long as I go to a red planet, of which there are 3, then I should be good. Be able to get a bit more resources coming in, and Ominous Wind's getting me cards, and my cards I can trade in for value of resources, so I feel good about it. Demonic Incursion, just in case I can trigger off the Yvonne, I'm thinking at the moment. And an Archon's Terror, which of course is quite a useful one. Kith has decided, Drake has decided to keep, and so let's see how the game begins. What's he going to throw at me first? And we're opening with Siren Zithlex onto Planet 1. Good, solid beginning. I'm tempted to go with my Keeper onto Planet 1 anyway, because the Keeper can take the hit, and then I could commit to Planet 1 and possibly win. I mean, I'm thinking the Keeper could even win the battle by itself. But at the end of the day, if I get the 2 tricolours, he can't win. As long as I get one of the tricolours, green by itself isn't going to help him. That's the benefit of having those single colour planets in the mix there. So I've got my STC out. That's obviously my first step, regardless out of the choices I have. And so let's see how he responds. Chaos Fanatics, simple command unit. Want to get in some cards. I'm wondering if he's trying to stop me getting cards. I don't know if that's what he's going to try and do. I mean, I understand that Kith is known for choke, and so I've got to think, I wonder what he's trying to choke me of. He's got on to a 2-resource planet. He's got onto a 2-card planet. Maybe he's just generically trying to be over the top of me. So it's my turn to reply to the Fanatics. And the thing about the Keeper is that it is actually 3 icons, which is pretty nice. You know, that's quite a doozy. So I'm thinking I can go over the top of the Chaos Fanatics. I can go over the top of Siren with my Keeper of Secrets, but I feel like I need to diversify a little bit more, because, you know, they're all or nothing planets. They're 1 color planets, and I really want my Keeper to be on a planet that's going to be useful, and that's going to cause be able to cause damage in an influential way in the battles that are going to come up. Because I mean, I can put him on the blue planet, but then unless I win one of the first tricolor, that blue planet becomes nothing almost. You know, I don't want to have him on those 1 single color planets, really. I could, I don't feel like it's as worthwhile as other options. Okay, so I go for putting it on planet 2, ready for the tricolour. It's Yvonne, which is nice, and I think I'm setting myself up a bit better there. Throws out the Incubus Warrior, and that was a tempting target, let me tell you what. It's a 1 hit point unit, so I can actually kill it. It would swing back at me for 3, which would really, really hurt. But that is a Ridial down on the last planet there. So potentially maybe I could have healed myself. Kind of depends how many 1 shields would he have. Would he have, at 3 rounds he'd be able to bloody my Warlord. But it was tempting. It would give me the guaranteed the 2 resources that I would need for my Ominous Wind. And I could potentially get a cultist out of it. I was tempted about planet 5, just to be on a red planet unopposed and spread out my command a bit more. But then I realised, oh no, that's a card planet anyway. It would have got me another card, which would have been nice. But I've noticed, I sort of didn't really click to this for a little while, but the Siren's on Ossus, which means he's going to steal 1 resource off me as soon as he wins that planet, and I'm not competing against it. So what I realised was, if I go to Yavin, that guarantees me that win. If he goes to Yavin opposite my keeper, I don't have the resource, and then he'll steal it, and it's all gone, and I don't get to do my Ominous Wind. So I end up choosing Planet 2 to make sure I get that 1 more resource, so that I can fire off an Ominous Wind. So we're done. I've gone to 2 to make sure I get that resource, and he's gone to 3. Guarantee he gets more cards, or look for some more cards that he needs, I guess. I mean, any of those options was pretty reasonable. He probably could have tried to go against the keeper, but maybe he figured that that is where I would go. Possibly Planet 1 could have been worthwhile to make sure he beat me at the Planet 1, but again, 1 green planet icon doesn't seem that important. Right, so he's definitely stripping away on me on resources so far. So I just check if he has any command actions. And there we go, no command actions, cool. So I will use up my resources so I can't steal them, and get my 7 cards. Okay, here we go. So I drew another Archon's Terror. I drew Predatory Instinct, which instantly I need that to be able to deal with all his tokens. I'm going to need it. I've got another Ominous Wind there. The Teleportarium I thought was quite useful, could be worth keeping. The Acolytes, the Splintered Path Acolytes, very important because I'm going to need the economy of it. Mark of Slaanesh is really helpful for jumping around, moving units back into good positions. It lets me use things like a Heldrake as a command unit, So number 1, Ominous Wind. I get to keep. I need to keep that. I'm hoping to fire off a Gut and Pillage and then do another Ominous Wind before the end of the turn. I need the Acolytes because they're resources. If I'm going to win Yavin, I need Demonic Incursion. Although I've realised actually now I've used up all my resources, so I can't Yavin in a big elite. Probably not going to be worth bothering this turn, unfortunately. Archon's Terror is very useful. Predatory Instinct's good. Now that Backlash is there, and I was thinking, oh, that's quite a useful card, but all these other ones are more required. I need the economies. I need the card draw. And I haven't got any elites yet, so I need the Demonic Incursion. I need the Archon's Terror to be able to deal with a planet. Mark of Slaanesh, the second Archon's Terror, the Corrupted Teleportarium, and the Backlash. I've decided they're just not as essential right now. I'm thinking that's what my decisions are there. And Drake was surprised by that. He wasn't expecting it during command, which is fair enough, I guess. I don't know when most people would try and play it. I tend to play it as soon as I can. If I've got the money, I'm going to play my Ominous Wind. I feel like the sooner you can play it, the more likely you have options. It gives you your different options, and so you need to get them as soon as possible. Right, so we get to Ossus, Battle at Ossus. He can't steal from me, so I'm feeling quite chuffed. And then he plays Power from Pain. That really hurt. Oh, that was not cool. That wasn't what I wanted to see. I just paused for a second in case, do I have something else? And I was thinking to myself, actually, would Backlash have stopped that? If I had just kept that Backlash just a second ago. But of course, Power from Pain doesn't. It forces you to sacrifice. So, there was pretty much never going to be anything I could have done about that, unfortunately. That's the risk of playing something as heavily elite as I do with my Vha'shaelhur. So that hurts. That sucks. But I'm hopeful that means that he can't trigger Ossus, so he wins Ossus. He's got 1 green. But I'm hopeful that he still can't do anything to me my warlord on Yvonne. He's not got enough resources for anything particularly worrying here. No ambushy stuff. I suppose it's just the Clivax with Kith that it ambushes, I think. I can't fire off my demonic incursion, which I suddenly realised and went, oh, of course, it's pointless. But I do get my resources. So he wasn't able to steal any off me, and I had the maximum 3 from a gut and pillage going into the next round. So I feel like that was nice. Possibly, I probably could have got away with going to a Ridial, maybe. Spreading my command just that little bit further, but I don't know. I just don't know for sure, you know. You can never tell where the commit's going to go, and I think I made the right choice to guarantee that resource. Alright, and then he gets Elwith, and I've got nothing to do to stop him on Elwith. I've got nothing I can do on Elwith, so there you go. You get to do that. And he's going to search for a card. I was going to just type OK, but he got onto it, which is cool. So searching for a card, and he has taken his time, just making sure clearly. There we go, he's picked his card. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so that looks like the end of round 1. We're all done. I think we're all done anyway. I've got nothing left on any planet, so my investment of, what did I invest? I invested 5 resources, effectively, to get a few cards. That's pretty much what I did. 5 resources to get like 3 cards. If they're worth 2 resources each, it's probably not the end of the world, but that's... Well, I invested the Ominous Wind as well. So yeah, that was a rough first turn. That Power from Pain really, really, really hurt. I've got to bear that in mind when I'm playing Dark Eldar, that it's an option. I kind of only expect it from Urian, but clearly Kith, it's a useful tool against a group like mine. So I drew a Mark of Slaanesh and a Teleportarium. I've got no elites. I need my elites. So let's do a Demonic Incursion. Haha, my support... 2 Helldrakes, a Possessed, and 2 Signature Demonettes. That sucked! I got a Helldrake, which is, you know, obviously the perfect thing you want from a Demonic Incursion, but I mean, I'd lost everything else. Everything else was in there. I wanted one of those Possessed. I wanted the other Helldrake. My support would have been really nice, just to keep smoothing out how many cultists I can keep on the board. That, I'm really annoyed about that one. That sucked. Alright, so he's beginning to put things down on that first planet. He knows I've got a Helldrake, and I can play it, but he assumes that's the only thing I can play, I guess. Well, he doesn't know what else I might be able to do. And so I've got my Acolyte, and I threw it down the line because, you know, in case I change my mind and don't sacrifice it, although it really is just the money, really, I guess. It's just so that I have ways to pay for things without necessarily, what's the word? Pay for things without actually winning command resources. That's basically all they're for. Possibly I should double them up on a planet, so he would have had to invest in it to guarantee I wasn't getting command there. Might have been worth a go if I'd have put it on top of the Kith Chimera Master, but he passes at that point, so I'm good. Everything else I can do is completely free and up to me. So I've got my Predatory Instinct, I'm still keen on that. Archon's Terror is great. And then I can drop the price of this Helldrake by 6, so it's 2-cost Helldrake, that's awesome. And then clean up the table, there we go. And that leaves me 2, and as I say, I am a fan of doing Ominous Wind as soon as possible. So, here we go. I'll Ominous Wind straight away, which is pretty good. I'm quite pleased by that. Now, alright, so Promise of Glory, fantastic, grab that. The other Promise of Glory, grab that. Prince's Might, I'm thinking, will be really useful against most of his army. That'll defend me in one of the battles. I've got the cultists coming in, so the Warpsmith will be good. Gut and Pillage is good. I began to think maybe Predatory Instinct, got to keep that. And then these, all of those aren't as useful, you know. And the possessed, I'm thinking I need to keep, and then that kind of means I lose my Archon's Terror. But the Mark of Slaanesh, I was thinking if I put the Mark of Slaanesh on the Incubus or the Chaos Fanatics or something like that, and then if I send Vha'shaelhur there, then if I kill the other thing, it will bring in the Heldrake, which would be really cool, and get the Heldrake out of my HQ. So what I was thinking was maybe I could go to planet 3, Farron, and put the Mark of Slaanesh on the Incubus Warrior, potentially. But then I've got to lose my Archon's Terror, which is a really tough choice. I really am not sure. See, look, I'm thinking here that I want to keep the Archon's Terror more than I want to use the Mark of Slaanesh to pull up the Heldrake at this point anyway. So, yeah, there we go. I'm going to have to dump those ones. The Promotion, Zaves, the Teleportarium even, they're just not quite as useful at this point. But the Mark, between the Mark and that Archon's Terror was a tough decision. And I've gone to, I think I chose planet 1 there, didn't I? Because I've got a Gut and Pillage, so I need to be going to a red planet. And I need to go to a red planet where I'm fairly confident that I can win with my one attack thing. So against the Incubus Warrior is possible, although he can hit me hard if he's got some good shields, and he's got quite a few cards. Possibly I could have gone to Taurus, that might have been worthwhile. But I already know I'm missing a few of my elites because I've passed them through with the Demonic Incursion, which is a bit rough. And I'm also worried that actually between the tokens that he can generate and Kith and the Siren and everything, planet 1 I'm a bit worried about. And he goes to planet 5, so that's alright. That was one of my considerations, was potentially going to planet 5 myself. Possibly Farron and the Incubus being marked could have been a better call, trying to spread out some command in that sense. I've been really focusing on winning the command that I've already won with my commitments so far, and I feel like that's letting myself down a little bit. I wouldn't have gotten that much more, but I think I could have got some more by spreading out, being a bit more confident to spread out a little bit. So I got no cards, 1 resource. But I am hopeful that I'm going to be able to trigger Yvonne and throw in the Possessed, which would be nice, which would be good. Okay, no command, so battle at Yvonne. Unless he's got another power from pain. That is what I'm pausing for here. I'm thinking, oh, he's going to do it to me again, isn't he? He's just going to throw another power of pain on the table and I'm just, you know, going to be really annoyed. I got my ominous wind triggers out of them, which is nice, but really is not enough. You know, I've paid for these guys, their abilities, their strength in the battlefield, and he's just negated it entirely, which I suppose I should have probably been expecting. Yeah, I just went back to just check power from pain, check the wording of it, make sure I understood it. Archon's tearing me away, and that's really, really nasty because Vha'shaelhur, while area of effect is very useful, especially against these token units, it's not enough. I don't know that I've got enough here to win the day on this battle, which is ridiculous. You know, it's a warlord versus 2 little things, and I'm really not sure that I can pull it off. But, you know, he terrored my Heldrake. There's not much more I can do about that, and so I might as well swing for the fences. He shields the token and takes 1 hit on the Chimera Masters. Wants to make sure he's getting that big hit back in. I think he's just... I was going to say that Raid, being a 2-shielder, he didn't really need to use it on me, but I also think he's probably realised that I'm unlikely to have more resources than him at any particular point, so Raid's probably not going to be that useful for him anyway. He swings for his first point of damage, and I've got nothing else, so swings for the token's 2 points of damage, which is quite rough. And I'm done. Yep, there we go, he's done. So, readying, and I'm going to stay. I really need to win this planet. If I let him get away with this, suddenly it's going to be that much harder. And he retreats, which I was thrilled about. He just didn't want to let me get my cultists, I'm assuming. Didn't want to waste the battle, waste any more shields on it. And I just checking that he has no other actions, and then cool. And then I will trigger it this time. And also, I will play Gut and Pillage. So I throw in a Possessed, and I get a few more resources. So that's great. I'm really keen on that. Now, it's quite lucky that I did go to that planet, because otherwise he could have Archon's Terrored away the Helldrake, and I would have lost that planet. So it was quite good that I had actually gone there. Archon's Terror, Power from Pain, just these things that really hurt me because I've got so few units to deal with. He gets his own Gut and Pillage off there. I feel like he was wondering if I was going to go there with my Warlord, and he wanted to push me off and then also be able to trigger it while denying me the bonus from Taras. But that's cool, that's fine. He gets his Gut and Pillage, that's really good. So we're keeping similar pace economy, I guess, but he has clearly got, look at how much stuff he's got on the board there. That's really difficult to deal with. Okay, we've got another green planet. So green's looking like it was quite a nice option. I got my Ecstatic Seizures, which is kind of pointless at this stage, and I don't expect him to be using attachments with his army, so I'm probably going to have to use that as a shield. And I've got all of my Promise of Glories, which I'm kind of tempted to just throw them all out right now. I've got the Warpsmith to go with them, so I've got like two options. I can either throw them all out, throw the Warpsmith out as a bit of a sort of semi-command, but the thing is I've got no elites to use with them, which is, you know, I've bypassed a Helldrake, I've bypassed a different Possessed, and I haven't really hit many of my others. I lost one of my Keepers of Secrets, and it's a bit, you know, I'm feeling a bit lost without them. You know, I don't have my giant demonic monstrosities. What is a cat, man, demon prince to do in such a situation? So I fire off one of them. I get my first few tokens. We'll see how many I can manage to generate in this game, but there they are to start with at least. Cool. Stalls for a moment as well. And what do we do next? He's got nothing, and so he's completely done, and I thought maybe I should hold on to my Promise of Glories. And I just don't know what would have been better, to put them all out, put them all in, have them all on the table. I mean, I guess you don't. I guess you hold on until they're needed, I guess, is kind of what you do. But I figured throwing this guy out as a command cap on Iridial, so he's got the hammers to go over the top, which is nice, and then he can just sit there and be my extra cultist beneficial thing if I need it. I was worried perhaps that Drake might have like Visions of Agony or something. I've heard a lot of Dark Eldar, even beyond Urian, will use that as a way of getting rid of cards that elite decks need, because they need, you know, the right piece at the right time. So I thought if I put out Prince's Might on Iridial, at the moment I'm hoping it'll become a win condition for me. I've got the tricolours, so if I can pick up the blue or the red, then Iridial will be a win condition for me. And likewise, I thought I'd play Predatory Instinct as well right now, because that way it can't be discarded off me, and that lets me do my Area of Effect to great benefit against all these annoying little 1 HP units. And I decided to go for the rolling effect, just to really bully the first planet and see how well I did. I could have gone to Farron instead. Oh, did I choose Farron? I think I chose one, yeah. So I could have gone to Farron instead and let him have a blue, but I just wanted to try and guarantee as many win conditions as possible. If I can get the blue, and then if it's at all possible for me to get the red as well next time, you know, then that sets me up for Iridial being just, you know, a really good place to win. But yeah, Aluith. Possibly, I didn't have anything else to deploy. I was going to say possibly I should have sort of let it go, or tried to Archon's Terror away his cultists or something and put all these guys on planet 2. But I'm okay with it. Alright, so I've drawn a soul grinder and a keeper of secrets. So that's fantastic. Now, with all these cultists, I should be able to put in, let's see, if I can generate out my 6 cultists from the Promise of Glory, that means I can put in the soul grinder and the keeper of secrets for a grand total of 1 resource, which would be perfect. And then I could, I wouldn't have any other cultists actually, so I wouldn't be able to trigger the keepers very, very well. But if I can get a Xarves put on the same planet as a keeper, then it's perfect. Every time the keeper swings, pretty much, Xarves generates a cultist, which lets the keeper ready again. Really good. And besides which, that's just a good amount of stats between the two of them for 1 resource, you know. That's 4 attack and 5 attack and 6 HP and 5 HP and 5 command hammers, and if you don't win command on this planet, you have to sacrifice something, you know. That would be great to just both throw down on Iridial, you know, next turn pretty much, and let me carry all these things over to planet 2. Actually, I wouldn't even need to technically go to planet 2. I could just pile everything up on planet 3, because I'd have the 2 blue at that point as long as I win this planet. And then Iridial would be my win condition with heaps of stuff on it, and I'd really like that. That'd be great. Alright, so we get through our command, we get to Aluith. He shields the shields both things with 2 shield cards. Can't really deny that. I did the best I could with my predatory instinct, and he shielded them both, which sucks. I don't like that, but it is what it is. Alright, so he swings with his Chimera. No. Oh, he's checking actions. No actions, all good. So he swings with his Chimera and goes for the Warlord. And I'm like, I don't want to get that close to being bloodied. I want to keep my AoE too. So I throw out the Ecstatic Seizures as a shield there. I mean, might as well. And Fanatics, cool. Also go for Vha'shaelhur. I don't want to lose any more of my cards as shields. I want to keep them all for their use rather than to stop the damage. And we're done. Okay, readying. No. We're waiting. Drake's got something he wants to do, perhaps. What's he got? What are we on? Turn 3? Yeah, we're on turn 3. Okay. So, if I win this, blue only wins on Iridial. If I win Farron, I win on any of the next 2 planets after that. If he wants to win with his green, he can win by Taurus as well. Okay. Warp Storm. Now that was I kind of wasn't expecting that. That's intense. Alright, well, I lose my cultists, which is a bit of a burn, because that means they don't get charged up by the Warpsmith and stuff, which is sucky. But everything else gets 2 damages. There we go. Warpstorm. I hadn't even thought about that Warpstorm for such a long time. Drake kindly points out that actually I have an attachment, so the Warpstorm doesn't affect my Warlord. So that's good. That's fantastic. I'm very pleased about that. Okay, so everything's a bit of damage. It's 2 damage, so I have no 2 shield cards that would have stopped doing the damage. And here's where I begin to think, oh, yeah, there we go. Clivex. Yeah. And then he says he's debating the trigger, and I'm thinking, I had a Backlash in my hand, and I didn't think it was as useful as an Archon's Terror. I forgot that I was playing against Dark Eldar, who have the Clivex War Leader, and I really, really should have held on to that Backlash. That really would have been something to hold on to. I probably, what did I have? I got rid of an Archon's Terror before, so I've still got an Archon's Terror, so it probably would have been that. And if I had played the Backlash right then, I could have kept my Heldrake and killed that War Leader. That would have been really, really big if I'd have thought to hold on to the Backlash. I really didn't think about how much value the Backlash has. So that was my mistake. And then he discards his cards, because obviously the Warp Storm killed his ones as well. 2 damage to each of them. And I'm like, Clivex, I want to be able to hit it with Possessed, so I'm going to shield for 1. There we go. And as we will notice eventually, that actually means the Possessed is dead. It doesn't have 5 hit points, it has 4. So that shield was pointless because it's dead anyway. And Drake drops another Clivex, and I kill my Possessed, and I'm like, oh, well, that's really rough. Ugh. Double Clivex. I mean, you know, which means I probably, if I had kept my Backlash, he would have killed my Heldrake anyway, but I then still would have had, well, no, he would have killed the Possessed. We would have come to a pretty similar conclusion overall, I think. He just would have had to pay more resources for it. But yes, he points out that actually the first Possessed was dead already, so he took back his Clivex, he took back his resources, and he very kindly lets me take back my shield, because obviously it was a pointless shield to have used. Yeah, so he lets me do that. So very good of him to do that, because that was utterly my bad, not keeping track of the hit points of my units. Very stupid. And so then his Clivex swings and kills the Possessed, and that's where we're up to. And, you know, as I say, if I'd have kept the Backlash, we'd have been in pretty much this exact same position right now. I'd be up a shield, and no, I wouldn't be. It would be in the exact same position right now. He'd be down 4 resources in a card for the same position. And maybe I might have been able to win the game, and that's, well, not game, win the battle in that sense, if he had lost gone down that much. I decide to stay. I think I can use that shield to keep Vha'shaelhur alive and swing on the Clivex. Which is an interesting thing for me to do, because, I mean, you know, it's kind of not how my knowledge is meant to be of the game state, but I know he has an ambush-capable unit that he could be dropping in if I swing. And I still stay and swing. And I have to do it as area effect so that I get the 2 damage. But seriously, I've opened myself up to that other Clivex. It might not, you know, get its reaction, but he could certainly swing and do me some serious damage here. So that was a weird decision of mine to do. It would have made more sense, as I say, in that alternate universe where he didn't have the resources because he'd already had to double invest. So I used that shield that I'd already used. And now I'm down. The 2 cultists I generated this turn were killed by a Warp Storm. 2 more cultists just disappeared to keep me from being bloodied. And that means my Warpsmith is going to be a useless cultist engine, because I've only got 1 card of 2 cultists left to use it with. And that's pretty disappointing for me. Most of my games I've gotten quite a few double cultist uses out of the Warpsmith when I've got them in. So that's quite frustrating. And at this point, I realise if I swing and he's got 1 shield, which he's got 7 cards, he could entirely have 1 shield, then he's got me bloodied, and he just does. And I just can't quite bring myself to risk it. So I have to let him take it, which means I don't have 2 colours. I'm still stuck on only 1, and he now has some blue, which isn't at all useful for him, actually, I don't think. No, nobody can win with blue. Nobody can win with blue. So that's frustrating for me, you know. And then we get on to Farron. He's got nothing. I've got no room to move. I've got nothing I can do. So he routes the Warpsmith. Makes sense. Why wouldn't you? Opens up the command. Play on that sort of vaguely choke angle, I guess. You know, keep that going. So all done there, and I believe that's the end of that turn. Should be the end of that turn, I believe. Just rearrange those cards. And so I'm thinking, Iridial. Really important for my Warlord right now. If I can trigger Iridial, I will be a very happy cat demon monster. Turn 3, HQ. What did I draw? I drew Xaves, that's quite nice, and I drew another of my signature units, which is fine. So, you know, I've got some cards, they're fine. Throw out the Promise of Glory, get some cultists, always good call. I've got my Warpsmith who's going to be able to double them up, but that's about it. So I've got my STC fragment, that's good as well. Archon's Palace, oh, classic stuff for Kith here. That hurts. I can't, well, we're reaching that point where there's not a lot of command to be had anyway. But yeah, getting at least something out of my commitment would be good, and I don't see it happening anymore. Because I'm likely to only be winning where I commit. And so I'm thinking Soul Grinder. If I throw him on planet 1, he's not outnumbering anything. Throw him on planet 3, he's not outnumbering anything. Throw him on planet 4, and he's just too far out of the game. I need to guarantee I get a Mark of Slanesh if I'm going to put him on planet 4, and I don't know if I'm going to. So, Soul Grinder, I decide I'm going to put him on planet 2. I have got the Prince's Might on that planet, which can help keep him alive. And, you know, my initial thought is, if I go to planet 2 and trigger that battle, I can run away and the Soul Grinder might win. But then I'm thinking, putting the Soul Grinder there is kind of a bit of a giveaway, especially when he's put the Fanatics there. And now I'm like, if I want the Soul Grinder to get its reaction, to force him to sacrifice something, I need to commit to that planet. And so I'm hoping, I'm thinking, I'm guessing that he will expect me to be at that planet. And I'm tempted to put Xaves down on planet 1 or planet 2, depending on which I think is more likely to... If I put Xaves on planet 2, then that'll really look like I'm going there. But I'm beginning to think maybe I should go to planet 1. Everything on planet 1 has 1 hit point. So if I fire off my area of effect, because I've got initiative, he might end up being able to bloody me, but I can do a huge amount of damage. I throw the Demonettes down to the end because I'm thinking I'm going to want to pull the Siren off that planet. I'm also looking at it now, watching the game again, and thinking, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I equaled his command, he then improved his command with the Chimera Masters. But maybe I should have just left it, held on to those resources to make sure that they were being used in the best possible way. I don't know. I felt like getting the Siren off Taras was going to be something I need to do, because if I don't win Farron, or I don't win Iridial, Taras is going to have to be my win condition with the red, probably. Although it could be green if I lose Farron but get Iridial and Taras, I've got to win. I've got the exact same win that he would be going for, actually, so a bit scary. So that's all I can do. I want to keep that Archon's Terror, because I know the Archon's Palace is going to stop me from being able to do anything else of worth. I'm not going to be able to pull any more cards. I'm not going to be able to pull any more resources and do any more tricks. If I had put Xaves on planet 1, I could have got a whole lot of cultists, but I think more likely he would have realised I was going to go there, or I'm thinking of going there. If I put Xaves on planet 2, I think that would have been a decent choice, because it would have made it look more like I want to go to planet 2, and hopefully he would go to planet 2 to help defend that. And I decide at the end of the day I am going to go on planet 1. I am going to take that risk. I figure, you know, you only live once, give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? You get bloodied and then you die next turn, but it's only a game, isn't it? So I decide to go for planet 1, and I'm hoping he doesn't, because I figure if he decides it's kind of done, if he hasn't got other things there that can potentially make the difference, planet 1 could be mine, and I can just win it, potentially, hopefully. But if he goes to planet 1, then he's going to be stopping me. It's going to be all too difficult. He's gonna. I can't imagine the devastation. He had chosen, and then he's re-choosing, so he's rethinking it, which I feel like is a good sign. It feels like I'm making him really sort of reassess what I'm going to do, giving him not enough information to be sure of how he can deal with me. So, he's done. I'm going to planet 1, and he's going to planet 2. It's success. I managed to keep him off planet 1. Trick him off planet 1. That is glorious. Now, obviously, he's Archon's Palace, so I've got nothing there, which sucks. But that's fine. And he gets just too much command. 5 cards and 1 resource. It's just not cricket, you know? It's hard. It's difficult. Alright. But moving on. No command from me. Yep, no command actions. And Drake, likewise, I don't think he has any command actions. Yep, no command actions. Alright, so Farron. And I have no actions to use. Does he? And he does, maybe? It's taking a little while. He's really thinking it through, clearly. What's he got? He's got 4 resources, so he's potentially got a Clivex. He's done. Cool. I don't have any wounded units at the moment, so that's cool as well. And area effect 2 on 5 1 HP units. So the tokens can go, and I don't get a cultist out of it because Vha'shaelhur's effect is only army units. So that's fine, he can throw those back over there with no worries. And now, those 3 units. If he can't shield all of them, he might as well let them die, and I'll get just the 1 cultist. Otherwise he risks me getting more than 1 cultist from killing them over multiple times. So that's cool. Alright, I'm like, yes! Success! I get myself a planet and a cultist. I am the greatest. I'm the best. I am worried that this is taking so long after I've said done. And surely something should have happened by now. Maybe. Maybe not. And he drops in a Clivex. And initially my heart stopped. I was like, oh, I'm going to be bloodied. I'm going to be just gone. And then I remembered that's why I wanted my Archon's Terror. And if I'd have held on to the Backlash, I wouldn't have had it. Although if I'd have held on to the Backlash, I might have killed that Clivex with it previous turn. So I don't know what the right decision was. But Archon's Terror definitely came in handy right then. You're out, you're gone. I'll get rid of the other Clivex. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping the low attack or low hit point units on that planet, hoping I can deal with them with a round of area of effect. But not a lot of options on that planet. I'm not sure. Because I didn't go to Iridial, I'm not going to be healed. It's going to be his initiative. Yeah, so if I can have a 2 shield card to protect myself from a 2 or less hit on that planet and then get my area effect, I'll be sweet. But I don't know if I've got that. I certainly haven't drawn it yet. I don't know can't remember what other 2 shields I've got on the deck at the moment. And I don't know what could be coming out. I'm down to 19 cards left, so I've drawn through pretty well. I decided to use up that cultist and get the Siren out of the way because I'm worried about having to fight on Taurus. But actually, I should probably have saved that until it was definitely needed, and possibly use that cultist as to buy some of my demons the next round. I think that probably would have been a good idea. So I get hit by the tokens, and then I have a quick think, and I'm just going to die. I've got no shields anyway, but it would be no point shielding because all those different things would kill me. Even if I fired off, which I can't, but if I fired off the Prince's Might, he's got enough things there that aren't affected by it that he'd kill me anyway. So I figure I'll go for the Warlord, and then I go, no, 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 no. It's Iridial. He'll just heal himself. So let's at least kill something. So I decided to get rid of the thing with the most command hammers. I figure that's probably the most reliable thing to do. I might be able to drop a Soul Grinder onto this planet next turn, and that might come in handy, maybe. I'm not sure. So I'm done, and you can finish me off now, I believe. I don't think I've got any way of doing anything about this. Yep, 2 more from the Chimera, and then no actions, we're good. And then 2 more from Kith. And that's it. I've got no options to deal with that, unfortunately. Alright, so he wins Iridial, which is not that useful for him, but he wins it. 1 damage off a Clivex. I mean, that's good. Certainly better than not pulling the damage off the Clivex. Okay, let's see what I pull for myself. I get a Demonic Incursion, and I get a Fall Back. But I don't... If I had that Cultist still, I could afford my Keeper of Secrets. But with an STC and no Cultists, I can't. STC, 1 Cultist, it would have cost me 3 for the Keeper of Secrets. And I would have had 3 resources left. No, I would have had 1 resource left, sorry. I'm doing terrible at maths. But that would have allowed me to spend on my fallback if for whatever reason the Keeper got killed by something. And right then that would have been a good call, I think. So getting rid of Siren on that turn, I think, was a really, really silly mistake. And now I've got almost no options. So I might as well put Xaves on that planet, I guess. Planet 1 is my win condition right now. Planet 2 is an alternative win condition. Planet 1 has a whole lot of 1 HP units, but he has initiative. If he goes to Planet 1, he swings first, bloodies my Warlord, that's my entire chance to kill all those things. If I had saved that Cultist, it may have been worth setting myself up for Planet 2 by doing the Cultist STC Keeper onto Planet 2. That could have protected me, and I could have gone there to heal Vha'shaelhur. I could have had the Keeper on that planet. If he'd done something tricky to me, if he has got like another Clivex or something, I'm not sure how many he's used, then potentially that could have healed Xaves, and carrying a Keeper with me, that could have been worthwhile. That could have been good. So setting up Planet 2 is a strong option. Planet 1 has the Prince's Might. The problem with the Prince's Might is the tokens aren't affected by it. And so I'm a little bit, maybe I should. So it looks like I'm beginning to set up for Planet 2. I put some command out on Planet 2, although he's got the Archon's Palace, at least I get to pick a card or a resource depending on what he's done. So Xaves onto Planet 2. If I go to Planet 2 and kill that Chimera, that gives me a Cultist from Xaves, so that's good. So Planet 2 is looking like a good option at this stage. The only thing being that I've got the Prince's Might at Planet 1, and would that be enough to defend me? But also, I'm realizing I can't afford the Keeper. I lost the Demonettes to the Razor Wings, and so I don't actually have that many demons there. Obviously, my Warlord is a demon, so the Prince's Might is really useful for my Warlord, but is it enough? It's basically the only thing defending my Warlord there. That his Warlord could hit me. The Clivexes could hit me because they're expensive enough. The tokens can hit me. Realistically, I probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't have got rid of Siren. Well, but then Xaves would be exhausted right now. Or the Keeper would be exhausted if I went there with the Keeper. That's what it would have been. The Keeper would have been there exhausted. But I think that, yeah, if I'd have saved the Cultist, put the Keeper on Planet 2, and then sent myself to Planet 2, I might have had to retreat with my Warlord, but between the Keeper and the Warpsmith, I think I would have been able to finish off Siren and the token. So long as Kith didn't go there, I'd be pretty happy. And if he did manage to kill my Keeper, I've got the full back. That probably would have been a better thing, and that would have given me, hopefully, the chance to have healed Vha'shaelhur in time for a final battle at Taris. That's a bit more worrying. That's keeping me from wanting to go to Planet 1. It's got 2 hit points, which means he just needs 1 shield card out of all those 11 to be able to keep the Slith in the battle and to bloody my Warlord and to make things really tough for me. So I'm not a fan of that. I'm done. I've got nothing else I can do right now. What options do I have? Something I could have done, given all the things that have happened so far, is I could have done a demonic incursion with the mere hope of pulling up the Helldrake that I know was at the bottom of the pile and seeing if it gets actually drawn into my hand at some point. So he puts down heaps more stuff on Planet 2, which is quite concerning. I'm really a little bit like, oh, about that. That's quite dangerous for me. But I probably still should have gone to Planet 2. But instead, I'm going to get ballsy. I'm going to Planet 1. I'm going to see if I can do it. He's probably got the shields to stop me, but I just feel like it's worth trying to get the earlier condition. See if the Prince's Might can help me. But already I'm like, I don't know about this. He went to Planet 1. Yeah, if I'd have gone to Planet 2, I think I would have stood a better chance. Planet 2, yeah. Between Zaves and the Warpsmith, I'm sure I would have been able to kill off the Slith, kill off the token. I could have even stayed with Vha'shaelhur and just given it a go at swinging for the fences and risk being bloodied anyway. Because I would have got a whole lot of tokens from Zaves, and I might have got a token out of Vha'shaelhur himself, and that could have potentially meant that the Keeper would have been able to join me the next turn for the battle at Taris, and I might have had a chance then. Although look at all the stuff he's got on Planet 1 right now. It's not looking pretty for me. That's a lot of big, scary, nasty units. So I just indicate the card in reserve just to just check that we're at that stage. I haven't done many deep strikes before, don't use them that often, and I deep strike it, and I'm partially doing it at this point just because I would like to say that I have used the Prince's Might. It's fun to be able to go, yeah, I've tried out that card, but it's really not doing enough here. It stops the Chimera Masters, it stops the Slith, and it stops the Razorwings. All 3 of those tokens, both the Clivex and the Warlord, are not affected by that card. So what was the point of that? I have no other demons at this planet. I've only got my Warlord as the only demon there. At least if I had the demonettes there or something, that might have been another demon that he can't hurt, Yeah, I don't know. Not the best move, really, but I mean, what do you try what you can. You do what you can. All right, Drake just thinking through how he wants to respond to that, which is fair enough. He's probably just checking how much of the combat maths that he's prepared for does it actually change, but it doesn't really change that much. I'm sure he'll realise very shortly. Yeah, there we go. Tokens aren't affected by that. Yeah. And I'm just going to agree with that. Just make sure he understands that, yes, that is the case. Yeah, there we go. Yep. The only problem with my plan. Yeah. Without the tokens and without the Clivex, that could have been really cunning of me. Or if Vha'shaelhur wasn't at that planet. You know what I mean? Like
so many other ways that could have been a good plan. This is not one of the ways it's a good plan. This is one of the ways it's a useless plan that uses up a resource, and possibly I should have held onto the card as shields rather than preparing it. And then also, potentially I could have thrown it down at Zaris, where I would have hopefully also had a Keeper of Secrets if I'd have planned ahead just a little bit better. But, you know, you live and learn, and taking on Kith, I've learned, as I should have already known, as everyone would obviously have told me, backlashes are quite important. Clivax are really, really dangerous. Power from Pain is something you need to be concerned about. Archon's Terror can be an issue, and, you know, the tokens, there's a lot of tokens. You need to deal with those tokens as quick as you can. Possibly I should have been more focused on trying to bloody Kith, or get rid of, well, Chimera Masters come with the Chimera straight away anyway. I was lucky, there was no Chimera Den, which was good. I'm a big fan of the old support destruction, but unfortunately with Vha'shaelhur, when allied with Dark Eldar, which I really want to do to make sure I've got things like Gut and Pillage, I don't think there's actually any room for any support destruction. I don't think there is any between the Dark Eldar and Chaos. I can't think of any. What is there? So that's an interesting sort of side note. They've got all these other powerful potential things, but if you've got supports that do the trick, I've got nothing to deal with it, I don't think. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have told you that during an ongoing weekly league. Oh well. So, he bloodied me, he killed everything, he ran off. That's it. There's nothing I can do about that planet. And then I drew a Mark of Slaanesh and a Corrupted Teleportarium. I've used up all my resources, so I can't afford my Keeper. I could Demonic Incursion and hope I get a 3-cost unit, except I'm pretty sure that I've used up all my 3-cost unit demons. The fallback is useless. The Corrupted Teleportarium is useless. The Mark of Slaanesh, I'm desperately trying to think of what can I do. I'm basically stalling for time. Throw the Mark of Slaanesh out there so that if I kill it, I can drag the Alluring Demonette over. That's about all I can think of to do there. I can get away with maybe one round of AoE, but then he's going to be able to kill my Warlord and win that way. And away goes the Teleportarium, which actually doesn't worry me. The Teleportarium was never going to be of any use at this point anyway. I've got nothing else I can do, but actually I've got nothing else I can do. He's got 2 green. This is a green planet. He's going to roll me here. I can't stop him. I could swing at the tokens, and even killing the tokens and the Razor Wings and the Rogue Trader, the Clivax, the Slith, and his Warlord would finish the job, and that would do it. So my run comes to an end. I'm sitting at 3-1 of on the Black Crusade League this year, which is, I think, my best run ever so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I hope you all are enjoying my videos of it. Please let me know if you're playing in it and you'd like me to record. My time zone isn't great, but I'm very pleased to be able to try and do some. And I hope you're enjoying Conquest, and I'll catch you again another time. See you later.